Thursdays with us, so I figured here with the whose mic wasn't working?
Yours was muted and mine was off.
We're new to this whole streaming thing, guys.
It usually happens when it's all right last minute.
Now, I know some of you have been here with us in the past, because I have done a couple of other horse streams, but it's been a while. So I know some of you already kind of know who these horses are, but this one is Darlin. I'm not taking her out. Calm down. Her registered name is I'm a Rodeo Darlin. Here, I'll take her little fly mask off. And she was the horse I got first when I got back into horses as an adult. I took 12 years off from riding because I couldn't afford it. And but I missed it so much. So she's the one that I got back into riding with. I bought her when she was 6. She is now 19. And we competed all over Southern California and even did some shows in Arizona. So I've done all kinds of stuff with her. But she's been an amazing horse. She's one that I can throw just about anyone on and she'll take care of them. And I've ridden her Western and English. I've played with cows on her. I've gone on 8-hour trail rides with her. You name it. She's kind of been there through it all.
Welcome in, Cyber Gamer. Welcome in, Emily. Hello. Notorious. Welcome in, guys.
And guys, I'm gonna talk.
Shelby, welcome in.
While I clean the stalls because I'm running out of daylight and
Ada,
I need to make sure these get cleaned. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Now, I mentioned that Darlin's registered name was I'm a Rodeo Darlin, and she is registered American Quarter Horse, and she's also registered Solid American Paint Horse. Her sire, her dad, was what's called a Perlino. So it's really hard to explain, but he could have babies that were just about any color combination because of that. Horse genetics are wild. So, but because of that, he was registered paint horse, so she in turn was able to be registered paint horse, even though she doesn't technically have any spots.
Really quick, welcome in Jeremy, hello. Paul, welcome in. Liam, Andrew, welcome in guys. Debbie, welcome in. Emily Enos, welcome in. Andrew. DJ Knight, welcome in. David says raced with her.
She's not really a racehorse. So she is an American quarter horse, but she's not bred for racing. So she's really not crazy fast. I mean, she can get up and go, but she's not going to be competitive against horses that are bred for racing.
Let's see. Andrew says, what happened to Disneyland?
We just took, excuse me, I need to get that rake over there. We took a day off of Disney because I was there Tuesday and then I came home and was home for about 2.5 hours and then drove back down to Disney for Wednesday morning. And because of that, I did not get any sleep at all Tuesday night. And I unfortunately was not able to really get caught up on any sleep all day Wednesday. So I really needed a day to kind of take care of my body and rest up a little bit before going back to the park. But I know a lot of you guys are so used to getting to spend your Thursdays with us, so I wanted to be able to come and spend at least a little bit of time with you guys tonight. And I know a lot of you ask to see the horses quite often, so I figured this was the perfect opportunity.
Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta open the stream on my phone because I can't pause the chat on the stream phone, so it's making it hard to go back and see your guys' questions. Let's see.
All right, and then this one is my horse named Whiskey. Her registered name is Bourbon on the Rocks. Hold on, I'm gonna take this off. There you go. I know. Now you're itchy, huh? Yes, itchy girl. Okay. And she is registered paint, even though she's solid. Her mom was actually a paint horse, so that's how she's able to be registered paint. And she just happened to be born with no spots. So
let's see. Notorious says, is Darlin the old mare of the stable?
not the oldest horse here, no, but the oldest out of the ones that I own.
Welcome in, Dave Does Disney. Hello, hello. Welcome in, Jared Journeys. Welcome in, Robert. Mouses on Main Street. Welcome in. Emily says, like Wizard of Oz, horse of a different color. Shelby says, my old house, we had horses in the backyard. One was named Amber, Grandpa Horse. Welcome in, Martin, Fake Human. Hello, welcome in. Welcome in, Bernice. Hello. Martin says, can I pet that Ant-Man?
Are you that itchy, girlfriend? Huh? You that itchy?
Robert says, Katie, do you have a black stallion?
I do not. I do not own any stallions. I used to years ago, but
Maria, welcome in. Hello.
I do not currently own any stallions. I own a male horse, but he's not a stallion. He's what's called a gelding. And a gelding is essentially like a neutered male horse.
Martin says, I like these once a month horse care streams. Liam says, your horses are cute. What are their names? Emily says, live horse carousel stream. Welcome in, Jessica. Hello. Juvia, welcome in. Juvia says, much needed and deserved day away from the craziness that is Disney. Love seeing the horses.
It's not just Disney, it's the commute, guys. So, like yesterday, for example, it took me 2 hours and 20 minutes to get to the park. And then another 2 hours going home. So you figure that was 4.5 hours of driving just yesterday. And then you factor in, I had just gotten home a few hours before I drove down yesterday. So it's just a lot.
Andrew says, how many acres of land do you have? DJ Knight says, you take good care of your horses. Roxy says, how is Katie? Katie is tired.
I'm good. I'm getting back, caught back up on sleep.
She's tired and partly crazy.
Yes. Crazy, definitely.
Welcome in, Cassie. Welcome in, Gladys. Hello, hello.
And as far as the land, I do not own this land. So this is actually a boarding stable. There's actually a lot of horses here that are not mine. My friend's parents own this stable. So I pay them to keep my horses here. And mine are, well, not all of them. The two girls, so Darlin and Whiskey, they're on what's called partial care. So it's my responsibility every day to come and clean their stalls. And then Whiskey here is high maintenance. So she will colic with certain types of hay, which is the type of hay that they provide here. So I buy her a special and unfortunately very expensive hay so that she doesn't colic. So I provide my own hay for her, and I clean all 3 of my horses' stalls every day. So this is what I come and do before I come down to Disney on stream days. So I'll come here, I'll clean stalls, I'll give them their supplements, and then I'll go home and shower and get cleaned up so I don't smell like horses at Disney.
Cassie says, I finally made it to a horse stream. Debbie says, I had horses my whole life. It's been incredibly hard not being able to have one at this time. Hopefully I'll have the chance to rescue another soon.
Well, and you can always go and volunteer at a horse rescue somewhere. Just about almost anywhere you live, I guarantee you there's going to be some sort of a horse rescue, a horse sanctuary, something. And they're always desperately looking for volunteers to come and help out. And you got an abscess again. Or did you just step on a rock? And based on your knowledge and expertise, they will determine what you're capable of doing. And if you decide you want to continue helping out, they'll help teach you more so that you're able to do more with the animals. So
Emily says, thought you owned only 2 horses. Welcome in, Sanchez. Hello. Maria says, if we put big ears on the horse, would that qualify as a Dumbo ride? Sanchez says, I can't pet that horsey. Notorious says, my neighbor owns a horse. I occasionally hear it, but I have rarely seen it.
All right, let's put your fly mask back on, girlfriend.
Jared Journey says, Katie, who got you into horses?
No one really. When I was a little kid, I was always that crazy horse obsessed little girl. And I always begged for any horse toys that came out. I would always freak out whenever I saw a horse, while we were driving. I always begged to go horseback riding. And when I was, I think I was in 3rd or 4th grade. Here, Ant-Man. When I was in 3rd or 4th grade, I went trail riding. So I had begged to go horseback riding, and my aunt that raised me, she went and got a gift certificate for me to go trail riding for my birthday. And so they threw us on these basic trail horses that are supposed to be, it's called dead broke, to where they don't get scared easily. They're really chill. You can put anyone on them and not worry. And so I was on one, my aunt was on another, and then the trail guide, this gal, was with us. And lo and behold, something spooked my horse. We still don't know what. It could have been a bee, who knows. And my horse took off running like mad. And I stopped it and got it back under control. And the lady basically turned to my aunt and said, look, you need to get her in riding lessons because she's got like a natural gift. And so I started taking riding lessons, and the rest is kind of history.
Welcome in, Angel. Hector says, I'm Mel Gilding. Welcome in, Glenn. Glenn says, that isn't chores, that's quality pony time. Hector says, which of your horses would win in a race against each other?
Oh gosh. Probably, well, Darlin would lose. She would lose to Whiskey and to Denver. Now, between Denver and Whiskey, that's a hard one. I don't know. Because they can actually pick up some speed, the two of them.
Cassie says, I have an odd question about the gilding. I've seen a short saying you have to clean the inside of their male parts if they are neutered. Is that actually true?
You need to do it on any of them. Neutered, not, even on the female horses up in their udder area. They'll get what's called smegma, which is basically old dead skin, dirt, debris, whatever, all up in there. And you do need to, unfortunately, go in there and clean it. So put on some rubber gloves, get some special, really delicate soap. And you have to do it like every so many months, basically.
Jessica says, how often do you take the horses out for a ride?
It depends. Lately with my schedule, not very much. But I used to go riding literally every day, and I would ride multiple horses a day. So.
Gladys says, do you sleep, Katie?
What's that?
Maria says, ye my Sill in Apple Valley let her family passes expire. It's an exhausting commute. Oh, sister-in-law. Yeah, my sister-in-law in Apple Valley let her family passes expire.
It's understandable. It's exhausting. It's time-consuming. You have to really be dedicated
Kish
to
says, great live stream, thanks.
be heading down there very often.
Welcome in, Christy. L. Carver says, any fouls? I don't think she can hear me.
I can't hear what you're saying. Why don't you get in front of me?
I said, L. Carver said, any fowls? Welcome in, Sylvia.
Any fowls? Oh, like birds? Not here, no. I used to have chickens, and I had a duck before, but that was ages ago.
Cash says, how far is your horses from where you live?
About a 20 to 30 minute drive, depending on traffic.
Andrew says, did you break them in, or are they already broken?
So the one I'm walking, Darlin, she was broke when I got her, but she's one of those horses where if she does not get worked regularly, she basically becomes unbroke. So I had to basically restart her from scratch. And then Whiskey, the other Palomino that you guys saw, I broke her completely. And then my third one, which is over here, Denver, he was what's called green broke. So he'd been under saddle for 2 or 3 months when I bought him.
I figured that's what you meant, L. Carver.
I've done the rest of that with him. So this is Denver. His registered name is John Denver. and he is a registered paint. And technically, all 3 of mine could be registered Pinto as well. Pinto is a colored horse association. So horses with spots like what Denver has, or whose parents had spots like what happened with Darlin and Whiskey, can all be registered Pinto. And then what I'm putting Darlin on and what Denver was already on, this is called a hot walker. And this is basically something you can put your horses on to get some exercise. They make different versions of it. Some go multiple speeds. This one only goes 1 speed, but it can go both directions. And basically, it's exercise. It can also warm up your horses before you exercise them, or cool them off after you've exercised them.
And just a heads up, guys. I know you guys got a few questions and stuff going, and we'll try and catch up and get to them all as quick as we can. Martin says, so Whiskey is high maintenance and spoiled?
Pretty much.
Hector says, I need me a race horse. Maria
No, you
says,
don't, Hector. You'll have no money for anything.
Maria says, normal people own cats and dogs and maybe fish or reptile, but Katie owns horses.
At one point, guys, this was years and years and years and years ago. I had 12 horses. Then I realized that was too much for my plate and downsized. And then at one point I had a bunch of chickens. I've had goats, all kinds of animals. And then dogs, of course. But
welcome in, Zara. Cassie says she wants a close-up on the camera. Guida says, I won't mind if Katie smells like horses and Mr. like motor oil. Just a new perfume. Hello, Heather. Bernice says, I love this stream and love seeing the side of you. My first horse stream. Hector says, the real horsepower. Heather says, I had my first horse at 4. Emily says, I used to live next door to Amish, and they had horses and buggies. Sometimes they'd come to the fence, and I can pet them. Shkishka says, awesome. Andrew says, would you give up the park streams and stay with the horse streams?
I mean, if I decided I didn't want to go to the parks anymore.
Debbie says, I had a blue
Roan?
Yeah, blue Roan quarter and a black and white paint when I was little. Little girl, my first horse was a Shetland pony.
Yep.
Her name was Sugar Plum, and then I worked up to a Welsh, then quarter.
Aw.
Welcome in, Prince Potion.
Hey, Prince Potion.
Hector says, I got my money on whiskey. Everybody's saying hello. Debbie says, your horses are beautiful. Heather says, I love these streams with your horses. Shelby says, oh, it's going for a walk. Angel says, oh, geez, that IPA is hitting hard. Laugh out loud. Welcome in, another Brian. Another Brian says, where does Disney stable their horses?
So Disney's horses are actually stabled in Norco. That's just been pretty much since right around COVID time. Prior to that, they were actually stabled behind Disney over where Galaxy's Edge is now. So right behind where they used to have the Big Thunder Ranch barbecue, the stables used to be right behind that. And I actually had friends that worked with the horses back then. And they moved them to Norco because of the expansion to build Galaxy's Edge. And the horses, it's pretty cool. So Norco is a town. They will, or city, I guess. They will have little parades. It's a really, really wholesome family environment in that town, city, whatever. And whenever they have their parades, the Disney horses are usually in it too. So they had a parade for the 4th of July and the Disney horses were there. And when they first moved to Norco, they actually had an open house where you could go and tour the property and meet all the horses and see all the equipment they use and everything. I unfortunately was not able to go because I had a horse show. But I think it's really cool that they offered that for the community. And we've talked about, I need to just do it one of these days. We've talked about going and driving through Norco and kind of showing you where the stable's at, because you can kind of see it from the road. It's a little less every year because they have some big tall bushes out front. So, you know, as time passes, the bushes grow a little taller and it's harder to see over the fence. But there's a big old wrought iron gate with the Disneyland D on the gate. And sometimes if you're out there like early in the morning, you'll see them out there working the horses.
Debbie says, we had a horse colic on us. We were up with him all night, walking him to make sure he didn't lay down because we didn't want his intestines to twist. That was so scary. Maria says, is there a trail you go riding or just ride them in that property? So here I ride them. So a minute ago when I went and dumped the manure in the wheelbarrow, that's actually a riverbed behind the property. So it's technically a dry riverbed. It's one of the few riverbeds in the world where the water actually flows underground, which is really bizarre, but it actually flows underground. Unless there's a really bad flood, then the water will come to the surface. But that riverbed, you go one direction and it takes you to a big regional park called Mojave Narrows. And there's actually like lakes and stuff there. And then if you ride it the other direction, you can go to another community park called Hesperia Lakes. And technically, if you went for like days, you could ride up into the mountains, like over by Big Bear and Wrightwood, or Big Bear and Lake Arrowhead. So. Great White Sox, welcome in. Or Go White Sox. White Sox says, how can I get a horse and can I ride them on the street?
It depends on where you live, honestly. As far as getting a horse, they're listed online, they're listed on Craigslist, there's tons of websites, there's private sellers. You can find horses listed all over. But as far as riding them on streets and stuff, that's going to depend on where you live and what the laws are.
L. Carver says, foals, not fowls. Laugh out loud, horse babies. I knew what he meant, but because I don't know how to talk, you didn't know what I meant.
So Whiskey, the one that is basically high maintenance, I got her when she was what's called a yearling. So she was a year old when I got her. She was a baby. And I had no intention on buying her. I went to look at a different horse. And while I was looking at that horse, she came over, Whiskey did, and walked up behind me and put her head over my shoulder. And I was like, oh, here we go.
Debbie says, that's the way I was with two of my horses. Two of them were green broke when I got them, and I broke them myself. I ended up getting 2 broken ribs. Oh, no. From that, but worth it. Cassie says, how do you even find horses for sale? I'm always intrigued about horses.
So they're even on Facebook. Not Facebook Marketplace. Definitely not there. But there'll be like groups about horses that are for sale and whatnot. They just can't list the prices. So you can't technically sell anything live on places like Facebook. So people will still list them, but they just won't put the price. So you might have to ask them and private message them to get a price. But it'll talk about the horse, their knowledge, their bloodlines, if they have competition history, if so, how they did, all of that.
Martin says, there's my favorite troublemaker, JD. Heather says, there's my boy, John Denver. Give him a kiss for me, please, Katie. Ray Bull, welcome in, says, I love seeing the cowgirl in her element. Dulcimeris, welcome in. Spartan, welcome in. Cassie says, do all three of your horses get along? Spartan says, yay, horses.
As far as them getting along, yes and no. You know, horses are herd animals. So there's always going to be basically like a pecking order.
Welcome in, Journeys Out Loud.
So
welcome in, Parrowhead.
Horses will try and assert themselves and be the more dominant one. And a lot of times they'll fight to do so. So they'll end up with like little injuries here and there and whatnot. That's why I personally choose not to turn mine out together. In the past, with some other ones I have. But I know Whiskey would probably tear someone up if I did that, so.
Maria says, I need that contraption to force me to exercise. Welcome in, Lenny, again. Journeys Out Loud, welcome in again. Oh, she's going to the other round pin. No, she's going to the arena. Jerry James, welcome in. Says Horsetown, USA. Brave Bull says, I would love to see a stream in Norco. Martin says, so I can go visit Disney horses nearby? Sweet.
Well, it's not open to the public anymore. It was just the one day before they opened. It was like their open house, basically. All right, be ready. He might take off like a bat out of you know what. So I figured I'd let you guys see him run if he's going to cooperate.
That didn't last very long. He just ran to the other end and stopped.
All right, I'll go down to the other end and try and get him to come back.
I guess we'll see how far the mics can go.
Oh, sorry. My mic off. I didn't think about that.
Well, he was definitely testing Mama on that one. Come on, Denver, I'm not even racing you, man. I ain't trying to eat your dust. It's funny because when he bucks, he farts. Show off. Done already? Oh, whoa. He's already cuckoo-cachooed, huh?
No, we're not going to visit. No, come here. Go over the mountain.
Huh?
Go over the round one right here. I don't want him to run too much more, just all crazy like that, because then he's never going to cool off. Turn my mic back on. Again.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they can hear you. They were able to hear you all the way over
Oh, I
there.
turned it off out there after I cracked the whip because I was like, oh shoot, that's probably really, really loud. Come on. So this gait is called a trot. So the different movements that horses make are called gaits. So this is called a trot. And for Western riding, if they go really, really, really slow, like what he's doing right now, that's considered, well, as he stops, it's considered a jog. And then if you move them out, that's considered what you would do. It's called a posting trot, where you sit and stand in the saddle with each movement of the leg.
I'm in a hole right here. At least over here, the ground's higher.
So you would stand every time the leg that's closest, the front leg that's closest to the rail goes forward, you would stand up in your saddle. And every time that leg goes back, you would sit down. And then
I believe he's a paint.
So that's the next fastest gait. It's considered a canter, or if you really dial it back for like a Western event, when they go really slow, that's called a lope. And then when they really move out and they really, really run, that's considered a gallop. Oh, good boy. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I don't know everything, but what I do know, I'll try and
Oh, there's a lot of questions.
answer.
We're that far behind.
Well, if you asked a question and it hasn't been answered yet, feel free to drop it in the chat again, and I will do my best to get to it.
The only question that I've seen that's come up twice is what kind of horse is Denver?
Denver is a paint horse. He's registered APHA, which is American Paint Horse Association, but he could also be registered Pinto.
I'm trying to remember where I left off. Oh, my chat just refreshed. That was lame.
Just saying. Cool. Go on.
Yeah, I can't even go back to where I was at, so.
How many hands is he? Oh gosh, I haven't, it's called sticking them or taping them. I haven't measured him, sticked him, taped him in a long time. He's probably 15.2 or 15.3 if I had to guess. Probably closer to 15.2. Darlin is 15.3, and I think he's a smidge shorter than her. But his dam, his mother, is actually half thoroughbred. So he's built a little more narrow and lanky compared to Darlin and Whiskey, because both of their parents are either full paint or quarter horse. So they're built more stocky.
I don't think I can go.
How old are they, Feather?
Dude, it's probably gonna be really dark.
Denver and Whiskey are the same age, and I cannot remember if they're both 8 or they're both 9. And then Darlin is 19. And like I said, I got Darlin when she was 6, I got Whiskey when she was 1, and I got Denver. He had just turned 3 when I got him. I am Betty, welcome in. Paul. They probably cost a lot less to maintain. Buy or ride a racehorse? Oh gosh. I don't know. I've raced horses, but they weren't racehorses. Racehorses are honestly really, really hard. Not always, but usually they're really hard to manage because they're so amped up from their training, and then also from the forage and supplements and everything that they get. So their adrenaline is peaked. So they're a lot to manage. You really have to be in peak physical condition yourself to ride a racehorse. at least to ride it well and to be safe doing it. I've ridden off the track horses, a lot of them, horses that raced on racetracks but weren't super competitive, so they got retired from racing. So I've ridden a lot of them over the years. Andrew asked if you would ride a horse and to say hello to you.
Hello, Andrew. And maybe if I was taught how to ride it, I'd probably be up for it, because my first time riding a horse was not the right way to ride a horse.
I do not have a bag of sugar cubes, Devin. And contrary to popular belief, they're really not good for horses. So horses, like humans, can have metabolic issues. So just like humans can have diabetes, horses can have insulin resistance. It's got a different name though for horses. So it's really technically not good to give them things like sugar cubes and, you know, a lot of sweet molasses treats and things like that. One once in a blue moon is not bad, but it's not something you want to do on a regular basis. Carrots, apples, those are fine. But that's that.
What is, those are his, Richard Simmons, leg warmers.
Oh, they're just protective leg boots. So those are called splint boots. It's to keep them from popping a splint. So they have little bones that can pop out on their legs. And if they do, it's called a pop splint. And it just helps protect their legs so that doesn't happen. You can use other things. There's things called polo wraps, which are almost like a felt wrap that are really, really, really long. And they wrap all the way around the lower part of the leg and then back up again, and then they Velcro closed. But they serve the same purpose. And then they also make different boots for them that are similar to splint boots that are actually made of leather with like a felt or a foam lining. But it's just to protect their legs. They'll kick themselves sometimes. Sometimes they'll step on themselves, you know, just like us when we trip and fall and stumble and whatever. They can do the same thing, but they have 4 legs, so they're probably more prone to it than we are. And certain horses are just way more uncoordinated than others, this being one of them. But he's gotten a little more sure-footed as he's gotten older. You want to stay out here and roll? Huh? You want to do horse things?
Sue says, do you have to do anything for their dental health?
You do. So horses, their teeth grow the vast majority of their life. They continue to grow. So they'll get baby teeth just like humans. They call them caps. And the caps will pop off when they're, it depends on where the tooth is and what age they are. But anywhere from a few years old to like 5 or so years old, of course you're going to roll right by the fence. But their baby teeth will pop off and they'll have adult teeth under them. And they have teeth in the very front of their mouth. And then they have a gap basically on the side of their mouth. And then they have teeth that go almost the entire length of the side of their face all the way back. So the front teeth are for biting, and then the back teeth are what they use for chewing. And as they grow older, the teeth, like I said, continually grow. And you have a horse dentist come out and do what's called a tooth float. And basically it's like filing down their teeth with a metal file. It doesn't hurt them, but you're basically filing it down so that they have even edges and they don't end up getting sores in their mouth and they don't have difficulty chewing and eating. So horses will get sharp, jagged edges on the sides of their teeth, especially in the back of their mouth. They're called hooks, and essentially they will destroy the insides of their cheeks, just like us when we bite the inside of our cheek. It's the same concept, except when horses chew, it's like a back and forth motion to some degree. And yes, and so you can imagine doing that on your cheek, on the inside of your face. It's really going to hurt. So let me see if he'll hold still for me to show you. So his teeth, stop. His teeth start again right here, and they go all the way to like right around here. So that whole, of course you're not going to hold still. I know. Stop. So from like right around here, all the way to right here is teeth. And then there's a space, stop. Stop. I have nothing for you. There's a space about that big where they don't have any teeth. And that's where you put the horse bit when you ride them. So the bit is what's attached to the bridle when you ride, and it goes inside their mouth. And it's meant to give them subtle cues on what you're asking them to do when you ride. So. I'm gonna grab Darlin off the hot walker real quick.
Cassie says, is it true if a horse breaks their leg, they have to be put down?
In most cases, yes. Not always, but in most cases. It depends on the type of break, the location of the break. You know.
Should still be able to get her. The
I'm
mic
sorry?
should. I said you should still be able to get her. The mic should reach that far.
Oh.
Want to say hi, Denver? No. You don't want to say hi to the people?
So weird random fact with horses. He's like, do you mind? So weird random fact, the way that everyone's been taught to do things when you've been taught how to handle horses is always on this side of the horse. So it'd be considered the horse's left side is where you would always do things. And then when you go to get on the horse, you would get on this side as well. And that's because back in the day, most knights, soldiers, whatever, were right-handed, just like nowadays. The vast majority are right-handed. So your sword would be on your right-hand side. So when you go to get on, you'd grab the saddle here, put your foot in the stirrup, and you'd swing yourself up and over. And that way your sword hand was free in case you needed to use it. So you would always mount and dismount the horse on this side.
Yeah, I don't even know where we're at in chat at this point.
Man, it is hot in this barn today. Come here, girlfriend. I'm gonna turn the other lights on. I'm gonna turn the other lights on.
Devin says you're looking more like Jessica Rabbit today.
I don't know about all that. Maybe Jessica Jackrabbit.
Welcome in, Elizabeth.
Welcome in. Oh, darling.
Junko Cruz, welcome in.
Hey, Heather.
Welcome in, Izzy Rev. Izzy Rev says, love the fit today.
Oh, it's called Get Dirty Chic.
Andrew says, does shoeing horses do have pain if you do it wrong?
Yes. So, horses, their hooves are made out of keratin, just like our fingernails. And the outside edge, for maybe about 1/4 of an inch or so, 1/5 to 1/4 of an inch, there's no feeling around the whole perimeter of the foot. But if you go deeper than that, there absolutely is feeling. Same thing with the sole of the foot. There's a section that they're not really going to have much feeling, but if you go deeper than that, they will definitely feel it and they won't like it. And if you shoe or trim a horse incorrectly, you can actually cause permanent damage. So it's always recommended to get a knowledgeable and experienced farrier, also known as a horseshoer, because you just don't want to risk permanently laming your horse.
Sue says, very cool. Thanks for the explanation.
You're welcome.
Welcome in, Gary A. Gary A says, Mom, those are my teeth. I don't want to show them my teeth.
Here, I can show you guys on her. You want to come over here real quick, Aunt? Oh, here, I'll just do on that side. So you can see how there's a big gap with no teeth. And then, let me see if I can, you want to turn the light on the gimbal?
Hold on. I only got 2 hands.
So shine it back in there. She's gonna have hay and whatever. But there you can see where the back teeth start. And then here's the frontal view. So if your horses have had their dental work done, their teeth should line up pretty level and even and be nice and smooth, and you should be able to do that with hearing anything getting caught or clicking or anything like that. At least in the front, and then the back's a whole other thing, but yeah.
Andrew says, when Katie makes those weird noises, what does that mean?
So when I do this, it's called clucking. That's basically a cue to move forward. It could be, or basically to move, I should say. It can be to move, to walk or to trot. And then when you kiss to them, which is, that's basically to make them lope or gallop. So that's telling them that you want them to go really fast. And then
Darlene's looking like, why are you telling me to go fast? I can't go nowhere.
And then you might hear someone go, ch, 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 and that's like she just moved. That's to get them to back up, or what she did, just square her feet up. So there's different cues to tell them to do different things depending on what kind of discipline they have, what kind of riding they do. So, but the clucking and the kissing is pretty standard for all disciplines. It's kind of like the equine language that's worldwide.
Welcome in, Queen of Hearts.
Hey, Queen of Hearts.
Roxy says, can someone say hello to Katie for me? I'm sad because on one... Dang it.
Hi, Roxy.
Chat just moved.
Hello.
No one can say hello to me. Hello, Roxy.
Sorry, guys. I haven't had my phone out to read the chat because I've been taking care of these guys. So. And then horses are what's considered prey animals, so their eyes are on the side of their head. Technically, if you were standing directly straight in front of them, there's a chance they may not be able to see you, so that's why a lot of times they'll turn their head, or you'll see their ears constantly moving. Their ears are basically like sonar, so they can hear things from pretty far away fairly well, typically. and that's their defense system. So the ears will be moving, so they're listening all around them in case there's a threat somewhere. And then their eyes, they can see from about here to right around here with their eyes. Now she's turning her head so she can see me, so she can see a little bit further back. Like she could probably see me to right about here because her head's turned. But if I go on this side, she can't see me right now. And that's why she's turning her head and her body so she can.
Let me see if I remember this one.
For her.
I'm going to say Western.
What?
Elizabeth says, do you ride English or Western?
I do both, but I prefer Western. I have English and Western saddles, and I've competed English and Western. I've jumped horses, but I prefer Western personally.
Welcome in, Steve.
The only style of riding I really have never done is dressage and like cart driving. Those are the only ones I haven't really done. But everything else I've done in one way or another. I've worked cows, I've barrel raced, I've done English, jumping, flat work, I've done reining, I've tried cutting. Just about anything you can imagine with horses, I've tried it. Besides, like I said, the dressage and the cart stuff.
Steve says, Anthony, if you learn riding horses as quickly as ice skating, it should be all good. Roxy says, hello, now I feel better. Shelby says, night, friends, good night.
Good night, Shelby.
Andrew says, when really know a horse can understand your voice. When really know a horse can understand your voice.
Maybe when do you know if a horse can understand your voice?
I think so. Elizabeth says, how many horses do you have?
I have 3 right now.
Cassie says, a horse is prey?
They are. It's not uncommon for like mountain lions to go after them. You'll have a pack of like wolves or coyotes go after them if they're really hungry. Bears, just depending on where they're at. But yeah, they are prey animals, absolutely.
Betty says, do you ride your horses every day?
I don't ride them every day. I try and exercise them and get them out every day, but I don't ride them every day. So like today, I turned Denver out and then I worked him in the round pen. I put Darlin on the hot walker. So it just depends what my schedule will allow, like time-wise and whatnot, but...
James says, my horse knowledge has tripled in the past hour. Interesting stuff. Welcome in, Carol G. Sylvia says, I have to take Zyrtec before I approach a horse. Why are neither of you two sneezing?
I can't hear what you're saying yet because I'm going to make their supplements. I don't know if you want to come over here so I can hear the questions or... And my apologies if this is loud. It'll just be this last scoop and it won't be as bad. So what was the question? I'm sorry.
Sylvia says, I have to take Zyrtec before I approach a horse. Why are neither of you two sneezing? Because I can't breathe out of my nose on a regular basis, so I should be good.
And I'm not, it's one of the few things I'm not allergic to is horses, by some miracle.
L. Carver says, I bought dozens of Disney vinyls to make cups. I don't even make cups. I don't even make cups. Laugh out loud. Too cute to resist. Andrew says, when I say understand, if you come, they will come or go this.
Oh, like if I call them, they'll come and stuff? Usually.
What's up, Gary?
Like Denver, when I come here every day, he will scream for me to say hello. Literally, he will whinny at me as soon as he hears me or sees me. And then the girls, half the time they'll whinny, half the time they'll just watch me and then wait for me at the gates. I don't know. Geldings are usually kind of like puppy dogs, whereas the mares are kind of like female cats that are just like, eh. So it just depends.
Jungle Cruise says, her little ears moving back and forth while you talk. So cute. Disney OC says, when will you guys be back at Disney?
Trying to decide. Once I know, I will let you guys know.
Welcome in, Omar. Omar says, my whole family is dedicated to horses, and almost all of my family has horses at the... I'm not even going to attempt to just say the rest of that, because my pronunciation and reading level is still in 5th grade, so...
Oh, whatever.
Gary says, sorry, what is the difference between Western and English?
The equipment used, first off. So Western saddles are a lot more bulky. They are more secure. So that's what a lot of people will begin to learn riding in, is a Western saddle, just until you feel more comfortable and confident on the horse. And then I always recommend at that point transitioning to an English saddle, because when you ride English, it's a lot closer to riding bareback. So you'll learn balance a way better in an English saddle. You'll learn how to use your core more, just a lot of different things. But Western, there's 2 different types of Western. There's Western pleasure, where you go a lot more slow, controlled, methodical. There's a lot of pattern classes that you have to memorize and perform certain patterns that are predetermined. Some with obstacles, some without. And then there's other Western disciplines like what you'd see in a rodeo that are a lot faster paced. And then English is like what you'd see dressage riders do, like in the Olympics, or the jumping events, going over horse jumps like in the Olympics. So those are kind of the 2 different things. But it's just personal preference. For me, what made my determining factor is I can't stand the clothes for English riding. To me, they look too preppy, and they're really form-fitting, and to me, they're just not comfortable. And even back then, I was in great shape. I was like teenage, whatever, perfect body for most teenagers, and I was just still at that point wasn't comfortable. So that was my big determining factor, because I would rather wear jeans. So it's just what I'm more comfortable in.
Prince Potion says, what is the weight limit for riding a horse?
Depends on the horse. So the average rule of thumb, which is not 100% accurate, but the average rule of thumb is that the horses can carry about 20% of their weight. So Darlin, for example, is about 1,200 pounds. So she could theoretically comfortably carry someone that weighs about 20% of that. But there's also going to always be other factors like the horse's physical condition and the horse's health. So a horse that has issues with their feet, ones that have poor body scores, so they're underweight, they could have other physical issues. That's not always going to be the rule of thumb, but that's the basic guidance.
Debbie says, do you take any of the horses that you have now and compete in equestrian?
I haven't competed since during COVID lockdown. It was the last time I really competed. So during COVID lockdown, they had what was called virtual shows, and you could enter online and you would pay a fee like a normal horse show, and you would have to prep your horse just like you're going to a show, bathe it, get it all groomed perfectly, you and yourself in your own show clothing and equipment, and you would have to perform predetermined patterns that they would send you online. You would video record yourself and submit it, and then an actual horse show judge would watch the videos and judge you based on those videos. So that was the last time I competed. I just had a lot going on in my life after that. Family members that were ill that I was taking care of for like 10 to 12 hours a day, full time, and different other commitments and stuff. So I wasn't really able to compete for a while there. And right now I am able to compete, but I'm just kind of burnt out. I competed for probably a good 5 years straight, and it's a lot of work and effort and prep and time to compete, because there's a lot of prep work that goes into it. And horse shows are not for the faint of heart. You're gonna be there you're gonna get up at like 4 in the morning and come load up your horse in the trailer, drive to the horse show, get everything set up, and you're gonna be showing that horse from anywhere from about 8 or 9 in the morning until sometimes 9 o'clock at night, out in the heat of the day, no shade, whatever. So they're very long and exhausting days, and then you still gotta go home and take care of the horse and all of that. So I got kind of burnt out on doing it for so many years in a row, and I've just kind of taken a break from it. Sometimes I miss it, and I might go back to doing it one day, but for now I've just kind of stopped. But the last one I did was actually a world horse show competition. So it was through American Paint Horse Association, and it was their world championships, because the world championships were canceled in person because of COVID. So everyone entered online, and we competed online. And actually, I take that back. I did that for 2 years in a row. I did the world show online 2 years in a row. I did it 1 year with Denver, and then the other year with Darlin, which is the one you're looking at right now. With Denver, it was only his first year ever showing, and we placed top 10 in every event. We were top 3 and 2, and then I think a 5th and a 7th. And then with Darlin, we got 2 world championship titles, and then a 3rd and a 5th. So that was the last time we showed.
Felipe, welcome in. Felipe says...
Who? What, huh? What, darling?
Hello, this is Felipe, Leslie's husband. Just stopping by to say hello. The horses are nice.
Thank you. Is he on her account?
No, he's on.
Oh, wow, I'm impressed. Because like the other day, he hijacked her account, so I thought maybe he was on her account again.
My phone's dead, like basically dead now.
Oh, you want to use mine then? Sorry, guys.
I'll try.
Oh, you want me to make the chat bigger?
No, it's not bigger. We're so far behind.
Oh. Sorry, guys, I gotta continue with my chores. I gotta clean Denver stall.
Mike says we listen and don't judge. Welcome in, Mike.
Unless you're Anthony. No, I'm kidding.
You know, I never had that trait before. I must be picking up your bad habits.
Wow. Where's that bus? Just went by. I think you threw me under
it. Okay, where are we at? Welcome in, Shelly. Shelly says, that's awesome, Katie. Welcome in, Pirate Bub.
Hey,
Cassie
Pirate
says,
Bub.
I get exhausted from taking care of my 3 kids, 4 cats, 3 foster kittens, and 4 dogs. I don't think I could handle horse care. Sure you can.
And that's why I downsized all those years ago. Because back then it was, gosh, it was a bunch of rabbits, 2 or 3 dogs, 12 horses, and there was something else too. And then like family. So.
Omar says, a question, are they for sale?
No.
Pirate Bub says, Katie, Main Street Cowgirl, do you get belt buckles and or ribbons?
I do. I've got hundreds of ribbons at home. Because I competed when I was a kid too. So when I was a teenager, I competed. And then I took time off, like I said, for about 12 years. And then I got back into it because I missed it. And I competed English and Western when I was a kid, and then again as an adult. And I've got buckles. I've got silver halters, which are those things that are on the horse's head, like right now what you saw on Darlin's head. When you show Western, you put those on, but they're leather, and then they've got engraved silver on them all around the entire head. And so I won one of those one year for like a year-end high point, which basically means you have the most points out of all the competitors in your division.
Oh, we were.
And then I've won silver bridles, which are basically the same thing, but when you're riding the horse.
Welcome in, GeoFire.
Random trophies, whatever, all kinds of stuff like that. And then there's some shows that you can win money at. I've won money before. It just depends on the show and what they offer. Usually the
I lost train of thought. The boys are talking about Texas Roadhouse, and I'm like, dude, Longhorn sounds so good right now.
That's because you've never been to Texas Roadhouse. You'd probably feel the same way about Texas Roadhouse if you'd been there.
But see, this is, okay, listen to the logic on this. If I lived closer to Longhorn, I would be there all the time, so I can have me a 22-ounce steak every night. If I go to Texas Roadhouse and I end up liking it, it is exactly 13 minutes from my driveway to their parking lot.
You know they do to-go orders too, just saying.
See, that's just, I don't have a whole lot of money, and
well, you better save a little, because I think we're planning later this month to go when Fat Cat Swingers are in town. Because they're going to be...
Who's where?
Lynn and George, maybe Devin, myself,
So you
anyone
guys
else
are
that wants to
going
come and join.
You guys are going to Texas Roadhouse.
Well, maybe. We just know if Devin comes up that he's going to want to go to Texas Roadhouse. That's the only thing we know. But we were talking about tailgating for the event.
How about we just do it desert style?
What, build a bonfire at the park? And go off-roading?
If we're tailgating it, then I'll bring the little propane barbecue and I'll bring the flat top barbecue.
But Devin wants Texas Roadhouse because he's never had it. He talks about it all the time.
You know what? I don't think he would mind if I grilled some steak, some burgers, some carne asada.
I think he'd be like, how about we do one for lunch and the other for dinner?
I don't even know where I'm at in chat now. I'm lost. I give up.
See, and y'all think I lose my spot in the chat.
Well, even holding it, it still skips upwards.
Oh, I know.
So...
Hence why I lose my spot.
Shelly says, oh my God, yes, yum, Aunt. Cassie says, I never had anything bad at Texas Roadhouse. Just saying. GeoFire says, yes. Lynn, I know I'm going to read it wrong, so I apologize. Lynn Perdita. They do sell the Texas Roadhouse cinnamon butter at Walmart. Laugh out loud.
And you can go to
Texas Roadhouse.
You can go to Texas Roadhouse and buy the dough
Shelly
for the...
says desert style sounds like good time.
Never mind.
Trying to catch up. B-Fall says Texas Roadhouse rose to become America's #1 casual dining restaurant, and I've never been to one.
No time like the present.
I feel like they're all overhyped.
You say that, but you've never been to one.
Cassie says tailgate at the horse stalls. Everyone helps scoop poop after dinner.
Everyone's like, we suddenly have no appetite.
Heather says y'all are making me hungry. Geofighter says if the king of roast beef wants to cook, I say let's do it. Paul says just as long as he doesn't take bread off garbage can. Laugh out loud. Gary says you can always get slim takeout. Sylvia says I love Texas Roadhouse, the rolls. Ange says Texas Roadhouse is pretty good. Welcome in, Ange. Hello, hello. I saw you sneak in here earlier. Felipe says, imagine working at Texas Roadhouse. Laugh out loud. Oh, wait, I do. DJ Knight says, I'll join the party. DJ Knight says, as long as they have chicken. Hey, Al, I saw you slip in too. Welcome in. Hello, Miss Garcia. Welcome in. Pirate Bub says, we love a good tailgate. Cheers. Maltesa fan says, Texas Roadhouse and Yuma is excellent. And welcome in. Camille, hello, welcome in. Welcome in, Mel. Mel says, hello, Main Street Cowgirl, Mr. Mischief. My husband John and I are going well in extremely hot Las Vegas while I lounge on a couch. Sound familiar? Do you still have taffy though? Geofire says, on one hand, with all the talk of steaks, I'm hungry, but with Katie's scoop and poop, I'm not sure. I mean, they're just chicken nuggets, guys. Look.
Ew.
They're vegan chicken nuggets.
No, the nickname for them is road apples.
Road apples?
Yeah.
Those are vegan chicken nuggets.
But do not eat them. Let me just add that clarification.
We're being watched. DJ Knight says, I'll join in on the fun. Sue says, it almost looks like you're scooping in an oversized litter box.
Basically.
Mel says, I do have taffy. See, there you go. You're all good to go. You're good. You're hooked up.
But does Mel have Chick-fil-A and Starbucks?
Isaac says, they're opening Texas Roadhouse in Camarillo, California. I never had Texas Roadhouse before. This will be my first time trying their steaks.
It's really good.
Jungle Cruise says, ew, Anthony. Martin says, there goes my dinner. Camille says, she's a pooper scooper.
Ooh, ooh.
Felipe says, Leslie won't let me game. She is watching the stream on the TV I used to game.
She wants to see that stall cleaning in full screen.
Mel says, Aunt, I'll find a box and ship taffy. I'm still good on taffy right now, Mel.
Mel, I'll have you know, he still has not shared one piece. Just saying.
Y'all act like I wasn't honest. I said, no, it's mine. On a quick side note, Mel, your Disney sign is done. I'm still working on your Do It Lady sign. But once they're done, then that will be shipping out to you, my friend. I've been having issues with the printer for the last week, so I am now falling behind schedule. DJ Knight says, ew. Paul says, horse hockey. Cassie says, okay, Aunt, take a bite then. All right. What are we doing for this? This is one of those non-charity tasks there. DJ Knight says, remember Mr. Ed the horse? Geofire says, so Texas Roadhouse, then Fat Cat Swingers. Mel says, brought John Chick-fil-A. Actually, that sounds pretty good too.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab Denver.
When can we do this again? Says Katie. Do you do all the cleaning by yourself? Looks like a lot of work.
I do.
Lynn says, poop, scoop, boogie. I don't know whose horse this one is, but this one's been watching us. Hello. Hello, darling. Oh, she's got her phone on rotate. Mel says, well, then I send you taffy, Katie.
It's just easier for me to give him a hard time. Meaning
Jessica says, Katie, how long does it take you to go through a package of Nuttles? Just curious.
I'm usually pretty good about it, honestly. Usually about a month.
Camille says, officially went unconditional on our first home a few hours ago.
Congratulations.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh my gosh, can we drop some hearts in the chat for Camille and congratulate her on her new house? Houses and hearts. Houses and hearts. Can you hold him for 1 second while I take these leg wraps off?
Felipe says, Disneyland is a bit cleaner tonight. No Anthony spilling popcorn everywhere. Dang. Dang, what were you saying?
Don't let him bite you. Can you hold him for 1 second while I take these leg wraps off? I don't know if you want to show them the leg wraps though. So, as you guys can see, these are the splint boots, and then these are called bell boots. These are to protect them from what's called overreaching. So when they're running, their back legs will come up, and sometimes they'll be running so hard and so fast that they'll do what's called overreaching. And Denver, don't do it. He'll eat it. They'll step on the back of their front foot with their toe on their back leg. And sometimes they'll cut themselves open back there. Other times they'll end up ripping off their horseshoe. Because the horseshoe, there's a tiny bit of it that overhangs over the back of their foot. So they'll overreach sometimes and step on that and rip the entire shoe off of their foot.
Denver. Mel says, do it, lady.
What's funny is if this one didn't already have the name he has, he would have been a perfect, that character's name. Oh.
Bruno?
No. Who says that? Besides Mel.
That's it?
Yes.
Oh.
But Denver's got that character's personality.
I don't think it's necessarily meaning he bites to hurt. Doesn't he like to try and nibble on everything? Like
it's called mouthy. He's mouthy. He's been that way since I got him. He always wants to put something in his mouth. So he might bite you, but it's not necessarily to be mean. It's just
they can't gauge how hard they're biting.
Yeah. It's like a puppy. How they just bite when they're playing and whatever, but he's just like that, period, all the time.
Mel says, I just finished my Nuttles. You guys are slackers. DJ Knight says, pretty horse. Jungo says, here, hold him, but don't let him bite you. Shelly says, aw, Denver. Cassie says, did you say hold him and don't let him bite? How do you stop a big horse from biting?
You swat at them. Just tell them no, just like you would a puppy.
Camille says, oh, that sounds sore. When can we do this again? Says, beautiful horses, Katie. Martin
Thank
says,
you.
Denver has quite some eye crusties.
Denver his nickname is Denver the Menace because he's always getting into trouble. He's very mischievous. He, knock on something, hasn't done it in a while, but he has a tendency to hurt himself fairly easily. He's just...
Darlin's trying to get your attention.
Oh, I know. Because Denver's eating and she's like, where's mine?
Yeah, her ears are straight forward. Like, this is ridiculous. I want my bucket, Mom.
And you pooped in here, really? I guess I should clean up the poop that's not ours and yours as well. Hi.
Camille says, the caramel colored one is beautiful. Mel says, oh, Denver is chit then.
Yep.
L. Carver says, Denver is just misunderstood. Cassie says, I have pizza I can share with her.
I actually used to have a mini horse named Patty, and she would eat pizza. She would eat chicken nuggets. She would eat just about anything you put in front of her. All right, watch out, chunky monkey.
Just one fly. Jungo says, oh my god, a mini horse? They're so cute. Pirate Bub says, mini horse.
Yeah, I've had...
LAFC says, do you share that space with other horses?
Yeah, so this is a public stable, and I board my horses here. So there's a lot of horses here, actually. So anyone who's a local to Southern California or familiar with the area, you might know of a place called Irvine Regional Park. Well, at Irvine Regional Park, which is a big community park, there's an area where you can rent ponies for your children to ride. And they have a lot of ponies there. And the person who owns all those ponies actually owns the stable. So when the ponies get too old or they're injured and they need time off, he'll bring them here. So there's actually probably like 20 to 30 ponies here.
Oh.
You having issues? Nope, nope, nope.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just got to get situated here.
You want me to take the other phone? There's about 20 to 30 little ponies here. The vast majority of them are black and white paints, or pintos, I should say. And then there's probably, I don't know if I had to guess, 20 or maybe 30 to 40 other horses here, and then my 3. So the owner that owns the property owns a few of the horses here, like the full-size horses. And then his daughter and granddaughters own a few of the horses, and then the rest are all boarders like me. So. And then you might want to turn the light on because it's going to be pretty dark out here. And normally I would tell Anthony not to walk behind one of the horses, but this one won't kick, so.
Well, that and I know not to walk that close behind it.
Let me see if I can read the chat while we're walking. We need a service mini horse to walk down Main Street with. Dreams to come true. It's funny, I've always kind of wanted to do that. Hey, Vince. Right, Martin? She's like, nothing to see here. I'm just going to grab a little bite out of this wheelbarrow. I don't ride them every day, Heather, but I do try and get them out and exercise them every day. It's funny, Camille, because one of my childhood best friends that I met through riding horses, her son is severely allergic to horses. They have horses. He just has to take some pretty heavy allergy medication to be around them. Cassie. Cool. Yeah, the Disney does allow mini horses for service animals, but it would be a lot to have one there in the park, because unless you've got someone to hold them, they won't really fit in the dog crates that they have for the service dogs. And the cast members aren't really allowed to hold them. So here, I'll give you the phone back to read the chat. Oh, I gotta put your fly mask back on. I know in the past people have asked about these things that I put on the horse's head. So they're called fly masks, and they're basically to keep the flies and like debris in the wind out of their eyes. I don't know if you guys can tell, but they're almost similar to like what a window screen would be made out of, the mesh. So they can see through them, but it helps keep a lot of the stuff out of their eyes. I don't know.
And that Morales says, I have horses. She passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Samira says, service ponies are cute. Omar says that it's not too cold for them outside.
No, it's actually hot up here today.
I think it's still like 80-something degrees right now.
Yeah. It got up to, I think, 103 up here today. But they do well even in the cold weather. And my horses are spoiled, so I have blankets for them that they wear in the cold weather and the rain. Even though they really technically don't need it, but...
Omar says, I really love the world of horses and bulls. Mr. Doggy Dog says, it's been years since I've been on a horse. Omar says, your horses are race horses?
No, they're not race horses. They're actually show horses. Denver and Whiskey are actually from pretty competitive bloodlines for horse showing. And Darlin, which is pretty funny because she's probably been my most competitive show horse, she's actually kind of like a mutt. She's, you know, got like a pedigree and everything, but it's not for showing. It's not really for anything specific, any type of riding or competing specifically. But she's been very, very competitive for me when I've competed. She's scared of the light.
Huh?
She's scared of the light.
Look at the moon. Look at the moon.
I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but the moon, the mountains that the moon is over, that's kind of back where Big Bear Lake is, and a little bit further over to the one side, because I can't remember if it's flipped on that screen or not, But off on the other side is kind of towards where Lake Arrowhead is.
That Lakeview fire was about right between here and there, but on the other side of the mountain. And then I don't know if you can see it from right here. No, you can't see it from right here. But that way is Vegas.
I can take the phone and read the chat now. She's so funny. She does not like the light. Good night, Mel. They're not dressage horses, Mr. Doggy Dog. Whiskey is bred for competing in halter classes. And then Denver is bred to compete in Western pleasure classes. And then Darlin, I just kind of do everything on. Oh, that's so funny, Cassie. Omar, that horse on the thumbnail for the stream, that's John Denver. He's a paint horse. He's registered with the American Paint Horse Association. And his markings are considered a Tobiano. The one on my cover, it's not a quarter horse. So Darlin, the horse that I was just walking and put away, that one's a registered quarter horse. The other two I have are registered paint horses. Darlin is also technically registered paint horse, but that's cool, Mr. Doggy Dog. What painting does he do? Honestly, if I gave him a paintbrush, he'd probably eat it. How are you doing tonight, Parrowhead? Hola, Coca-Cola. Mules are cool. They're very protective. A mule can take down a coyote, no problem.
A what?
A mule can take down a coyote, no problem. They're great livestock protectors. Gladys. You're welcome, Omar. Omar, it's not my ranch. It's just a stable where I board my horses. I pay to keep them here.
Who's this one?
So that one is one of the boarders here. His name is Pedro. And he's a reining horse. Hey, Deez. Happy belated birthday. Caballos. Sí, mi amigo.
How's dinner, Denver?
Oh, that's cool, JP Gladiator. Bishop Mule Days are really cool. You're welcome, Deez. But that's about it. Hi, Elizabeth. Omar, I have 3. Lopez's girl, yes, I'm out here every day. Every day. Martin said Denver's on D&D, Anthony. no, Parrowhead. Give her our best. I hope she's feeling better soon. I know that cough's going around. I've been feeling like I'm trying to fight it off too. But I felt like that for a week now. Thank you, Elizabeth. Denver.
He was trying to eat the food on the floor.
Oh, I know.
Did you get it all?
Oh, hi, Carmen. Big hugs to you. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it for tonight, though. I'm done with my chores for the day. Horses are all stalls cleaned. Everyone's fed, exercised, everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for not being at the parks, but I figured this would suffice in the meantime. And yeah, I'm not sure when we'll be back in the park yet. I need to talk to Ant-Man and look at my schedule and everything, but I will be sure to let you guys know once I know. But until then, thank you, mods. I know this was kind of a last minute thing, so I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you to all of you for being here. Appreciate you all. Thank you to Ant-Man for coming and helping out with the camera work and reading the chat and everything. And thank you to you guys for being here with us. But I hope you have a beautiful night, and I will see you guys soon. Much love to you. Bye.
Say bye, Denver, because we don't have an outro, so say bye.